Okay, hello everyone. I am so excited to do this collaboration Zoom with you guys between myself and Hope Weston. We are going to be bringing you so much information when it comes to running your business, both on Instagram and on Facebook. I've been doing Instagram for quite some time. If you don't know who I am Saray. I am a triple diamond, have been in the business for almost 4 years now, and have basically built it right off of Instagram. And then Hope will tell you a little bit about her story as well. But I didn't dab into Facebook until after I promoted Triple. And with that, I've like struggled with it. So I'm really excited to hear what she has to say about Facebook because I feel like I can never learn enough with it when it comes to host a post and when it comes to posting and figuring out the algorithms. Because half of the time I get no interaction when it comes to Facebook. So I'm really excited to hear about that. But with Instagram, there is just so much information that I want to share with you guys. Hope, do you want to introduce yourself before I go into the whole Instagram?
Yeah. So it's so funny as Saray's saying this, I'm like, that's me, but with Instagram. So tell us in the chat, which one are you excited to learn about tonight? Because every single one of you is one or the other, right? Every single one of you is like, I kill it at Facebook, but I need to learn Instagram. I kill it at Instagram, but I need to learn Facebook. And that's why me and Saray have been friends for a while now, you guys, both we went triple diamond we went triple diamond the same month, right? Or right around the same time, this last spring. And so being new VIPs in the company, we've just really bonded and really talked a lot about all of our different things. And so I'm so excited to hear Saray talk about Instagram because I'm like ready to go ambassador using Instagram because Facebook has been my jam for the past, like I've been in the business for 5.5 years almost, but Facebook has been my priority for the last about 2 years. So yeah, I've been in the business for about 5 years. I'm also triple diamond, went triple diamond last year. And so I just came to Saray and I was like, look, you're killing it at Instagram. I'm killing it at Facebook. Let's collab. Let's help everybody kill it at both because that's how my business started. I started just doing both and I went diamond using both and I went double using both. And it wasn't until, like I said, about 2 years ago that I sort of moved to primarily using Facebook, but it's so different now. Has anyone been here as long as me and Saray have, like 5 years, 4 years, 3 years? Like we didn't even have live videos. Instagram was in chronological order. Like I don't know about this new, we're not going to talk too much about Reels and TikToks because we don't, her and I are still kind of dabbling and figuring it out ourselves. But that just goes to show you guys, like we have had to teach ourselves these things. Yes, there's trainings, by the company. Yes, there's trainings by other leaders, but we're here and having success because we have truly thrown at the wall until something stuck and then stuck with it. And that's how I've worked my entire business on social media, you guys. So with all of the tips that you hear tonight, Saray is going to go first. We're going to cover posting, messaging, interacting, and like organization / follow-up, okay? So out of all those things, she's going to cover Instagram, and then I'm going to do the same for Facebook. But these are just tips and tricks, you guys. Try them. Don't be afraid to try them. Try them consistently. Try them for a while. But then at the end of the day, you have to do like we did, which is if it works, stick with it. If it doesn't, do something else. This is just what we've found works for us, and hopefully it will work for you too. So yeah, Saray, why don't you just jump right into Instagram, and then I will, when you're all done, I will jump back in for Facebook.
Yeah, sounds good. Okay, guys. So with Instagram, I literally have had Instagram for forever. And just like Hope said, there was no story feature when I first started. So honestly, it was just posting tons of times during the day, anywhere from like 6 to 8 times a day. And it was like product and spammy and this and that. Like it was just horrendous. So a lot of the stuff that I have learned along all these years has been, again, trial and error. So you're going to figure out the things that work best for you and your Instagram. And when you start seeing having like more views and having more likes on your post and all of that, that's really kind of got to dictate how much people you're attracting to your profile. Okay. So first things first is with posting. Okay. Posting on your actual profile. I have an entire YouTube video that I've already made public. It was unlisted for some time. It was on Jade Hooper's Diamond Elite Nation group. That's a social media training with Instagram and Facebook. I talk about the aesthetic aspect of Instagram, so I won't get too much into that right now, but that is very important when it comes to Instagram. When I go to, like, if you go to my profile, immediately when you see it, you don't don't see anything related to the business. And that's because that is what allows me to be able to create connections with people, and people will follow me back. Between public and private, it's totally up to you how you want to go about that. My profile is private because I like to accept the people. And there's a reason why I do that. And I'll share that with you guys in a little bit. But obviously, if you're sharing your reels, if you're using your reels as host to post, if you're doing anything like that, then you're going to need to have your profile public. But since I'm not really super 100% into reels, I don't really need that anymore. So this is what's working for me, and this is what's allowing me to enroll my customers and distributors. You're going to do the trial and error. So posting, I do a lot of videos. I show my face pretty much consistently through my stories all day long. I do a lot of boomerangs because it looks prettier and it's very quick. It's just a movement. If you are having a terrible day that you're super busy, or you just don't have anything that you have created on your own, I do a lot of boomerangs with that. Another thing that I have truly just kind of like really focused on is not overcomplicating it. We see all of these creative stories on Instagram for story slides, and then you're like, I don't know if I can create something like that. You tend to screenshot a lot of the other individuals and what they have. You guys, Instagram will lower your views if you're consistently screenshotting other people's stories and posting it on your profile all the time. Okay. You want to be creative with your content. You can just create, it doesn't have to be super pretty if you don't have time to create it. You can just, again, do a boomerang, or you can do, if you guys have over, you can create some stickers and you can copy and paste it onto your story. So it's complete different stickers than like GIFs or anything like that. So that's an option for you. So I am constantly showing my face. I am also posting stories that I try to create on my own. And if I do screenshot someone else's, I try to overlap it with something that's my own. So I will copy and paste a picture of myself on it to kind of create it more original. Or I will add my own stickers to it. I will change maybe like a little bit of a font so that it creates more originality. Another thing that I have noticed with my Instagram is if you have hundreds and hundreds of just slides that people have to tap through explaining something, a lot of the people are just going to swipe. Like they're not going to sit there and look at everything you have to say. So I try to keep everything between a 2 to 3 side ratio, if not a single ratio that explains everything right then and there. If I'm looking for someone who would want more information in the business, or if there's someone with the product, I'll try to explain it like that. I also create a lot of excitement in my story. So I will say, you guys are not going to believe the results that I'm about to post. Tap to the next slide, single slide of the information, and then I'll continue it with a video talking about what I just posted in the previous slide. Little things like that, it creates connection. And then again, they see my excitement, which is the most important part. They see my authenticity. Okay. That's what's going to help you with creating potentials on Instagram. Interactive post, getting your audience involved in your decision making, even if it's something that you might not even consider their answer for this specific response, anything that you feel would be relatable to the people that are following you. You can never go wrong with stationery, talking about planners, talking about cute calendars or notebooks, or if you want to talk about fashion or where you get this, where you get that, anything like that, that you feel like your followers, branding yourself, which is my next one, is going to be very important as well. So that's kind of going to help you with what kind of questions you're going to ask your followers. If you're into art, if you're into music, if you're into instruments, if you're into doing the cricket, anything like that, things that you love, those are the people you're going to attract. And that's the people that how you're going to grow your network. So when you're asking a question like that, you're going to have followers that are going to respond to those questions because you've already kind of intentionally added people with that same type of branding. So my brand, you'll go on mine, you're going to see that I post a lot of my kids, them doing their online schooling, bilingual stuff. I will post a lot of like activities that I do with them from home, just things with them. I will ask sometimes like makeup stuff, but I'm not like a huge makeup person. So I kind of just like stay in my lane a little bit when it comes to that. But I will talk mostly about things that will help me connect with my followers. And that's what boosts my views. So creating content that'll have them coming back for more. You'll see me post a lot of funny stuff. I will intentionally set my timer to look up videos on TikTok so that I can also have some of me time. And I'll look up videos, but I set a timer because if not, you're obviously going to keep scrolling and watching videos. But I make sure that I find something that I can share on my story so that people are interacting with me. They're either sending me a funny emoji or they're responding to the content that's there, something relatable. I do a lot of like toddler videos of like mom life and like the struggles of mom life and just like little things like that. And that's what makes people like following me and wanting to watch my stuff, and my views stay up. So that's how my story views, I'm interacting as well. So that follows me into the next category, interaction. Interaction, I mainly, the reason why I have my profile private is because when I'm massively adding people every single day, I take time out of my day that I can focus on accepting the people who have followed me back so that I can interact with their posts, their first 6 to 9. If they only have a few photos posted, I actually like all of them and I try to comment on two or three of them. And then from there, that built up my interaction. Those people that I recently added are going to start seeing my videos and my stories, so my views continue to go up, plus my likes on my recent posts will start to go up as well, because I've just interacted with someone who's new. So I try to just take that time out of my day to accept them all at one time. If not, I'll split them up because sometimes I have like 80 or 90 requests pending to add me back. And so I have to kind of split them up because it does take a little bit out of my day to interact. Another thing is stories. So if you'll notice on your stories, um, some of the top people that'll come up on the first, like the first bubbles, are going to be people that you're constantly kind of looking at their stories, people that you most likely recently interacted with. You might find people that are on your downline, sideline, or a completely different team. If it's not something that's adding to your business or multiplying to your business, meaning that you're like comparing yourself to them or it's kind of bringing you down, the mute button is going to be one of your besties. And even in your business setting, there's no real reason, unless maybe you have an interactive pod with your team, there's no real reason as to why they need to be in the forefront of your stories if you can interact with them through the interactive pod, or just in a general setting, you can go through your team and you can like their pictures and stuff. So you can mute people that are already on your team. So that way it leaves room for people that are going to be your potentials. So I also set out of my day, and I've actually have gone through and made sure to interact with all of my stories, and then I bring it down and I let it refresh, and I try to do that at least 2 to 3 times a day. So that way I'm constantly filtering through new stories and I'm interacting with new people. I'll either comment on their stuff or I'll give them an emoji, but I'm watching through all of the stories, so that way I'm kind of like getting rid of the ones that have just posted maybe last night and it's bringing up people who are posting today. Okay. Because if you haven't watched posts from yesterday, those are still going to stay there and they're going to keep pushing people who are posting today. I also go through my following tab. And recently, well, before you could actually go through your least interacted with and click on the profiles that were here, but recently they changed that and you can't click them anymore. But something that I started doing for my least interacting is I filter it from earliest to latest. So the people that you recently started following, or I'm sorry, from latest to earliest. And then I go through all of the story slides, the ones that are like in red, and I go through those stories as well. And there's not a lot of people that post stories. So if I do see them there, I actually will interact with their stuff. So that way they're also staying up to date and they are seeing my stuff up front as well. With messaging, I personally have always done host to post messages and cold messages, whether it's asking them if they would like information on the business or the products, and all in one message. Or I will also like, I'll do the unsend resend method as well with people who I've messaged one thing and then I'll message them about another one. With host to post, personally, what's worked for me is asking for a favor. So my message is very simple, and I wish I could copy and paste. While Hope is talking, I'll do it then because I can't. It's not connected with my phone. But my message for host to post is very, very simple. And again, you want to make it original. It's just basically saying, like, hey, girl, I hope all is well with you. I was reaching out to you because I was wondering if you'd be down to do a small shout out for me and tag me on your story. I already have the pic ready to go. If not, it's okay. I do both English and Spanish. So I'm messaging constantly in both languages, and it's a favor. They'll say, yeah, what's up? Like, what's the picture? I have my picture saved. I send it to them. And my story slide, I try to keep it as simple as possible as well. I don't post products on there. I've never put the actual product on the post itself. I will put either a before and after picture of me. And if it's the business opportunity, I actually have my cartoon on there, like my cartoon caricature that says if they're looking for more information, they can actually text me. And then I also have them tag me on the post. Very, very simple. I removed the actual products because people, what they tend to do is kind of like save it. They might zoom in, do their own research and never follow up with me. So that's why I just keep it as simple as possible. With the message of both offers, it's a simple message that basically says, hey, just looking to expand my business. And I was wondering if you'd like more information on the products, or maybe you've ever been interested in making some extra income from home. That way, it's all in one message and they tell me which one they would like. They go with product. I tell them the products we have. They go with business. I tell them my business scripts. And then with the unsend resend method, if you don't know what that is, basically what it goes or how it goes is when you have someone that you've messaged, for example, someone recent. So I actually messaged this girl. Like, let's say I didn't want to send this voice message, I'll hold it down and it gives you the option to unsend. And so they don't really get a they might get a notification that someone unsent a message, but they won't know who. So that gives me the ability to be able to resend a brand new message like I've never sent them one before. And it's going to be something completely different than the first one that I sent. Because that way, if the first one that I sent was host to post, then I'm going to send them the, hey, would you like more information on the products or the business? And that way I'm filtering through my messages from even months or years ago. Because I've been in the business for 4 years. There's probably people that are on my that I've messaged before from like 2018, 2019 that they left me on red or they just never saw the message. I'm going to unsend it and I'm going to resend a new one. If I sent them a business opportunity script, I'm going to unsend and send them a product one. If I send them a product one, I'm going to unsend and send them the business one or even a host to post because you can never go wrong with a host to post if you're only asking a favor. And that's for like anybody who's yellow because they're probably like, oh, like, I don't want a message asking about products and business. So I'm going to go the host to post route. Once you do the host to post, I ask them, they post at the after they've posted, I ask them, have you ever thought about doing this business like I've done? Or are you interested in the products that you're actually posting about, depending on what post you give them? Um, Organization and follow up. Okay, Instagram is a little bit crazy just because it's kind of unorganized. You don't really, it's no alphabetical order as far as like who's added you, who's added you when. So I have a notebook. I forgot my notebook downstairs. So I can't show you. So anybody who has shown interest in the business or the products, I write them down. I write them down in my notebook. And if I don't have time to write them in my notebook, I take a screenshot of our conversation so that I can write them in my notebook at night. And then that way I can follow up with them. If the conversation is going very well, I will continue that specific conversation and you'll know those conversations that are just like question and answer, question and answer. I try to follow up with those conversations as long as it lets me. But if I don't have the opportunity, like they stop, then I'll try to message them the following day to say if they had any questions. And like with the organization and follow up, the combo, I'll follow up like 2 days later or 2 weeks later, 2 months later, the Morgan Martin method. But if the conversation is going really well, I try to do it more consecutively. So that way the conversation doesn't die down and then the interest doesn't die down. So, most likely, anybody that I've had a conversation between Monday through Friday, I will definitely follow up with them by that Friday. So that way I can have like what we just spoke about is fresh on their mind. And if they leave me on red or they don't open up the message, then I'll probably follow up with them like within the next couple weeks. So that's how I do my follow up method in organization. And a follow up, you guys, on Instagram doesn't necessarily have to be like, hey girl, I have one spot left, or hey girl, like, are you interested in signing up or anything like that? Like a follow up can be interacting with them. It could be sending them an emoji on their stories, watching what they're doing, asking them questions like completely unrelated to what you were talking to them about, or even like a simple hey how are you girl. And I've done that multiple times. Like I'll send them a hey girl, how are you? And they tell me hi. And then I'll say, I just wanted to stop in and say hi, like see how you were doing. And that's it. And I know sometimes you're like, oh, but like I want them to sign up right now. And I understand that, but you also have to trust the process with some of them because they're not all going to sign up right then and there. And you also can just kind of you can tell which conversations you're kind of going to want to space it out a little bit. So host to post really, really briefly. Like I mentioned, I do pictures and it's a story slide that I created. This is the one that works well for me when it comes to business. And it's just the one that I've always used. So let me lower my brightness. And it's just simple. It just says like, hi everyone, my friend's Saray, and then it has like the information, and then it has nothing there that says anything. It works, okay? Simple. And then I have the same one in Spanish. And then when it comes to the actual products, the one that has worked well for me has always been the ones that I show with my before and after pictures. And I used to change them monthly so that I knew which giveaway I was posting about at that time. But I the opportunity one, that one has always given me a lot of potentials during the day. So I kept with that. The one that I do change often is my weight loss one. So recently I did this one for my weight loss, and it's just a simple before and after picture, and then I just have like the action plan on the bottom. It just says like my friend Saray is looking for girls who want to lose weight for spring. So I changed this season. And then same bundle she used to lose 62 pounds in 4 sizes. If you don't have your own before and after picture, get someone from your team to give you their before and after pictures, because it makes such a big difference when you're posting a picture like that and the person has questions and you can tell them, well, I actually can ask my friend, the one from the picture that you saw, and I can ask her exactly what product she used, because it gives like more of like just a connection that you're really truly trying to figure out things out for them. And you're going to talk to someone that knows who, like someone who has specifically used those products for themselves. So that was pretty much my little snippet of Instagram. I will answer a couple questions at the end. So just I'll
Yeah,
just like go
keep
through and
them.
I'll write them down.
Yeah, keep them coming. The only question I had today, and this is from me, is
Yeah.
how many do you set out to send a certain amount of messages every day, or you're just like going the best?
I'm just honestly going. And if I can write down today how many messages I sent out, but honestly, what I've been trying to do is send out messages to create quantity. So if I get at least 10 people's name in my book, then I call that successful. Like that's a successful day for
Right.
me. So I'll message until I get that amount, or I'll message until I get my 10 hosts to post out and I get those potentials. But honestly, like since this month, like I've been like, okay, consistent planner names and planners, so that way I can continue to have people to follow up with, because if I don't have a day that I didn't create potentials, I don't have a day to follow up with anybody. So
Yeah.
that's kind of like what I've been doing, just focusing on that. But I will message I work from 12 to 2, so I'll message during that entire period, or unsend, resend, or grow my network that way as well, because as I'm sending messages, if I've noticed someone who hasn't responded back, or I haven't had a lot of conversation with them, I'll go through their followers just to see if there's anybody that I can follow. And I'll take the time to either unfollow or grow my network during that time frame as well. I think that's the only thing that I didn't mention about growing my network, and that is I will go through things that I have that are most relatable to myself. So things that I love, like the bilingual moms and all of that, like that's the type of vibe that I go towards. And that's the type of people that I create connections with, because and then I have people asking me questions unrelated to the business, and then it
Right.
it just builds a bond. So that way when I ask them to do a host to post for me, it's not weird or anything. But that's kind of like the only thing that I personally do. Just make sure I have names in my planner.
Yeah, no, I love that. And I think that that's on point, because I think that how many people just give me the message to send and tell me how many times I need to send it and I'll do it, and we want these like cut and dry, like magic fairy dust sort of answers to like working our businesses. And I think it really is. I mean, you guys just heard how simple she keeps it. Nothing she said is something that I didn't know before, but hearing it in those many words, I'm like, I can rock Instagram. How many of you feel like that now after hearing what Saray just said? You're like, if she can do this, I can do this. Hello. Like, it wasn't even that difficult. It's just consistency, doing it every single day. So that was amazing. I have so many notes and maybe even more questions for you after, but that was just absolutely amazing, Saray. Thank you so much. So let's talk about Facebook, you guys. So same kind of deal. I'm going to talk about posting. I'm going to talk about interacting. I'm going to talk about messaging. And I'm going to talk about organizing. So first thing with Facebook in terms of posting is I only post 2 to maybe 4 times a day on my Facebook feed. And I leave a lot of room between my posts, because the algorithm of Facebook is only going to show your post to as many people as you sort of let it. And so if you're posting and then 30 minutes later you're posting again, and then 30 minutes later you're sharing something, that original post that you made is not going to get the amount of views that you want it to get. So there are a few different categories of posts that I post. There are some that I do every single day, and then there are some that I only do 2 or 3 times a week. So let's go over those. So Every single day, I'm posting something either interactive or funny. And I put those in the same category because you want something that people are going to comment on. The Facebook algorithm is all about interaction. And so if you can post something that gets a lot of comments, that is going to totally boost all of your other posts, even if you don't see it. Okay, so this is things like asking people what they're making for dinner, asking people what they're watching on Netflix, asking people what they're doing for Valentine's Day. People love to tell you what they're up to and their opinions about things, right? Like that's Facebook. And so I do a lot of the like, if you had to pick one or 4 fruits, and if you had to get rid of one, which one would you do? And it doesn't have anything to do with host to post. Okay, guys, I feel like a lot of people feel like if they do any of these like kind of fun interactive posts where people are commenting, they need to hook in the giveaway and make it like a bait post or host to post. And I get a lot of girls who are like, okay, I put up this interactive post, people are commenting, what do I message them? I'm like, you don't. You don't message them. You're creating interaction on your feed so that people aren't afraid to comment on your posts. So every time someone comments on your post, you're hopping in their inbox, they're not commenting on your post no more. You're like, I don't want this girl in my inbox. That's not what I want. That's not how Facebook is, right? So doing something funny / interactive every single day. And then depending on how your host to post are doing, you turn maybe 1 or 2 of those a week into a bait post. So a lot of times people can't even tell on my feed unless they're super paying attention which interactive posts are for the giveaway, like a bait post, and which posts are just like fun, interactive, hope just like is curious, like what they want to do. So yeah, I mean, if people are commenting, like, so the other day I posted one that was like, no matter how much we talk, like post your dog. And so like everyone was like commenting pictures of their dog, right? And I'm like going through and I'm being like, oh my gosh, cute baby, like what's their name? Like, oh my gosh, like, and then the people who are like, I don't have a dog. I'm like, well, do you have a cat? Like I'm talking to them in the comments. That way it gets more comments. And the more comments that a post gets, the higher up in the feed it's gonna be. So I post like 3 quote unquote bait posts for host to post giveaways a month, you guys, because my bait posts get hundreds and hundreds of comments. Even 2 weeks later, people are still commenting on them because I'm using this system of posting fun, funny, interactive stuff. Okay. The other thing that I'm posting every single day that doesn't hardly have anything to do with the business or the products is posting something relatable or personal. This is where it's sort of that branding thing that I was talking about comes into play. I do a lot about like talking about mental health or trying to post something inspiring or encouraging. I do a lot of like mom life, like my kid won't sleep, like what do I do if my kid doesn't sleep, like trying to relate to other moms, just posting a picture of my son and saying something like, who gave you permission to grow up, you know, so that people are seeing that I'm a mom and I'm a mom just like them. And so an interactive or funny post every single day, a relatable or a personal post every single day. And this is going to be personal to you. Okay. What's important to you, what sort of vibe you want to give off, the kind of person you want to, kind of people you want to connect with. So then the 3 other kinds of posts that I make, and I only make these 2 or 3 times a week. Okay. The first one is a simple business or product post. And this is where a lot of people who want to do really, really well with the business and they have like the best intentions at heart, they're being too spammy. And what I mean by that is kind of same thing as today. Like if you go to my Facebook, you're not going to see a picture of the product. You will not see a bag. You will not see a bottle, y'all. If I'm going to post about a product, it is just a text post. Volunteers needed. Who needs to lose weight and has a $40 budget? New challenge. Who needs to grow their hair? Less than $40 a month. Yes, with one of those cute, colorful backgrounds. Short, sweet, and simple. Comment below, okay? I will drop before and after pictures in the comments. And there is occasionally when I'm doing this like 2 to 3 times a week for the products, I will post it with a before and after picture. Like I'll do a little thing and I'll post it with a corporate approved before and after picture. On Facebook, this is like a little tip, a little trick. On Facebook, if you post 2 before and afters, it'll actually crop the like the disclaimer at the bottom when they see the post. So they'll just see 2 before and afters. If they don't click on it, they won't even see the name. So usually I'll do like 2 before and afters with the same product with just a super simple caption. But again, I'm only doing like that. I would do like once a week tops. And I will tell you guys that everybody wants to know how to promote, right? Everyone wants to know, how do you enroll customers? How do you enroll distributors? How do you promote? That's why we're on here. I wait to do the majority of my product posting and before and after posting until the last week of the month. Because the rest of the month, I am being funny, I am being interactive, I am being personal, I'm adding people from post to post. I'm putting some, and then this is like my next one, I'm doing some live posts. So 2 or 3 times a week, I'm giving them like heavy hitting, here's my story, here's why I'm doing this, here's who I am. A few times a week, I go live. I don't go live every single day, but I do go live. Usually I just pick one product. I make my coffee, or I make my reds, or I make my new skinny tea. Like I just pick one product and I just make it on camera and I talk about it and then I get off. It's literally like 5 to 7 minutes long, maybe. But I save a lot of these like mass posting about the products until it's go time. Okay, so this last month and the month before, I signed 8 customers on the last day of the month, and that was how many I had signed the rest of the month, like the whole rest of the month. I signed them that last day because the last 2-3 days of the month, that's when I'm like, who needs to lose weight? Who needs to grow out their hair? Who needs to have more energy? Who needs to have less bloat? Who needs to have who needs a cleanse? And then we go back to the beginning of the month and it's sort of back to my like regularly scheduled programming where people actually want to see what I'm posting on Facebook. They come to my page because they know they're not going to get hit with ad after ad after ad after ad. They get to know me and who I am. Okay. So that's all of my tips on posting. Be interactive, be funny, be personal, save your desperate product posting until the last day of the month, and then people will actually be paying attention to what you're posting. And that's, people are always, they're like, how did you get so, like the last 2 days of the month, I put up a post about the new gummies and it literally got like 50 comments. And somebody was like, when I post about the gummies, I get no comments. I make posts that get no comments all the time, you guys. But because I'm so consistent and I'm so personal and I'm so interactive, when I do make up volunteers needed, who wants to lose weight, there is 50 people who are interested and willing to comment on my post. So that brings us right into the interacting part of this, you guys, which is another huge piece of both Instagram and Facebook. So every single day on Facebook, I wish people happy birthday. Does anybody do this? I wish people happy birthday. And this is a super quick and simple thing. If you just search birthday on Facebook, it'll pop up whoever's birthdays are today. And you actually go to a page where you can just copy, paste, post, paste, post. And I just say, happy birthday. I hope you have an absolutely wonderful day. And I just post it on their wall. Okay. Because that way they always comment back. And technically that's them commenting on my post. And now my posts are going to be boosted in their algorithm. So I saw Kylie say that she messages them. You can totally message them. I just like it to be a post on their wall because then we have post interaction and Facebook is like, ding, ding, ding. She likes what Hope posts. I'm going to show her more of what Hope posts, right? The second thing is if you're going through Facebook interacting and you're like leaving comments on posts, make sure you're leaving comments with at least 4 words, okay? Don't just say congrats, heart eyes emoji. You literally want to be like, oh my gosh, girl, that's so great, congratulations. Like you want to do as many words as possible because that doesn't seem spammy and that's not something that you're going to say over and over and over again. And Facebook is really going to pick up on that you're being interactive with this person. The other time that I do interacting is when I'm following up or when I'm messaging. So instead of just going into my Facebook Messenger and just like green light messaging, I know a lot of people do that, but being in the business for 5.5 years, you guys, I have had situations where I've been green light messaging and I messaged somebody who like their mom just died yesterday. Okay. And if I would have just gone and taken 2 seconds to look at her Facebook, I could have sent her something a lot nicer than, hey, do you want a spot in my weight loss challenge? So there's just little things like that you can do on Facebook. Like Saray said, I know you want to sign them up today. Like, I know you want to sign them up right now, but like that may or may not happen. Wouldn't you rather them like you and want to order from you at some point in the future instead of just being totally annoyed and feeling like you don't care about them. That's the only reason. Can we just talk about this for a second? That's the only reason that people don't like cold messaging, right? It feels impersonal. They feel like you only care about a sale. But if you take the time to go interact on their page, I comment on 2 posts. I usually like 3 and comment on 2, and then I message them or then I follow up. They're gonna see that you care a lot more because you're actually going to their page to see what's going on with them. Okay. And then so many people just share funny stuff on Facebook. It is so easy to just go to somebody's Facebook, find the most recent meme that they shared and say, oh my God, this is hilarious, laughing face, and then go message them. Hey, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I interact and message at the same time. I also unfriend while I'm doing this because is there anyone on here who's like me and like hits 5,000 friends all the time? Because I hit 5,000 friends all the time from doing host to post. So I'm unfriending while I'm doing this also. And then we talked a little bit about interacting on your own posts. And what I mean by that is when somebody comments, comment back to them again as much as you can. Like the more comment thread interaction back and forth, very, very easy. So I can see I'm getting some questions in the chat about host to post. I have 2 actually trainings on my YouTube all about Facebook host to post, exactly what I do, exactly what I say, all of my scripts, like everything. So go watch, it's on my YouTube, just search my name, Hope Weston host to post, it's on YouTube, and you will get all of my tips and tricks and all of the things. But the number one thing I will say is I don't do anything different. I don't do anything different, you guys. I really don't. I'm just super picky about the content of the other posts that I'm making. I only post 2, 3, maybe 4 times a day so that my posts actually have a chance to grab the algorithm and write it to the top of people's news feeds. And then I'm just being super interactive with people. So that's posting, that's interacting. Now we'll talk about messaging. I do the exact same thing as today. I hit them up about host to post first. And my message is, I mean, once again, nothing crazy, nothing different, but I just say, hi, random question, ... And no, I'm not trying to sell you anything. Haha. How would you feel about me giving you a post to copy and paste to your status for referrals? Honestly, it's such a small thing, but it means so much to me. I'll even enter you into a drawing to win blank. Right now, my personal team is doing $100 cash. I know Jade obviously has like a bigger giveaway that's going on this month. And then I just say, would you help me out with an emoji? Some people say yes, some people ignore me, some people say no, and I unfriend those people. It's not like everyone who I message says yes, you guys. It's really not. But what I will also say about messaging on Facebook, and I was just saying this to one of my new girls, there are days I don't have to message on Facebook because of host to post, because I'm already so busy from people DMing me to enter and me messaging people who are commenting on product host to post, and I'm messaging people who are commenting on bait posts. I don't have to, because I'm getting, like I said, those 10 new names in my planner. I'm getting them in my planner without having to message. Obviously, when you're pushing, when it's promotion mode, all of these things, you can definitely still send that 50 to 100 messages a day. But so I message about host to post. The second time I message them, like if they read my host to post message and they don't respond, I message them about the product. And again, I just have like a super simple, it just says, hey, hon, I hope you're doing well with everything going on in the world. I wanted to let you know I'm having a huge sale on so many of our best sellers from our nutrition and beauty lines. Would you want to try it out as a VIP client? You've always been super sweet and down to earth, so I figured I'd check back with you. Can I send you more info? If they say yes, then I'm giving you that like list, like we have weight loss, skincare, detoxing, energy boosting, whatever, and then we go into the product conversation. So if I message somebody about host to post and then again about products, I unfriend them. Okay, everybody gets 2 messages and then they get unfriended. Not because I'm like trying to be rude if they're not interested, but because I'm always maxing out at 5,000 friends, and there's always people who want to get in the giveaway and who are interested in the products who are trying to friend me on Facebook. So don't make it more personal than it is. If they're not willing to make a post for me or even respond to my message, we shouldn't be friends on Facebook because you only get 5,000 spots. It's not the same as Instagram, where you can have as many thousands and thousands of followers as you want. You can only have 5,000 spots. So yeah, Lisa, that script is in the boards that we have. So if you're only at like 200 Facebook friends, you got to just get rocking and rolling on them host to post, girlfriend. Go watch my host to post training. I literally add like 50 new people a day, which means I have to unfriend like 60 people a day just to keep up with the system that I have developed. So get up those giveaway posts, have other people post about the giveaway for you. Okay, host to post on steroids. Do host post like crazy. Yep. And then before I did host to post for adding on Facebook, and this is just another little like, I didn't even put this in my notes, but I'm in groups, okay? Before I was a mom, I was in beauty groups. Now that I'm a mom, I'm in mom groups. I don't spend a lot of time in there. You can get totally sucked in those groups, but I will add people from those groups I have things in common with, okay? And then for messaging, this is also a huge part of my messaging every single day, you guys, and I count it as messaging because I'm going back to every single person who makes a Facebook host to post for me, and I'm asking them about the business. I'm always asking them about the business. They already want to enter to win money and they're willing to post on their Facebook. That's like half. That's like they need money and they're willing to post. That's like half of what we do, okay? So I'm always going back and reaching out to them. I'm going to go over organization, and then this is actually my section's going by quicker than I thought. So we can go back into the chat. If you want to start writing down some questions that you want to answer today, and then while you're answering yours, I can.
Yeah, I'm actually copying and pasting the questions.
Okay, perfect. So let me go over organization and follow up real quick, and then we'll go into some questions. So the first thing about Facebook, you guys, is that I do the exact same thing as today. I have this notebook. It's just a 3-section notebook, and the last section is my names. These are all names of people that I talked to on Facebook, and then I have some that I tore out from my old notebook before I moved into this new notebook. So I just have names on names on names, and I try to go through my entire list of names at least once a month. Sometimes I don't even get through them all once a month, because when you're like me and you've been in the business forever, you have thousands of contacts, but I work through my list as much as I can. The other thing that I did on Facebook, and this is like a huge tip, is I search keywords in my Facebook Messenger. Okay, so if you go to your Facebook Messenger and you type in, this has been a big one, if you type in caffeine, right? Because my Thermal Fight script says caffeine, and now the gummies and the tea both say caffeine free. And then I think the Skinny Brew says caffeine too, because it says like an extra kick of caffeine. If I search the word caffeine, it'll show you this, and it'll say messages. And then if you click see more, it says it in the upper right corner. These are all the conversations I've had that have the word caffeine in it. Okay, and I just scroll. You can see I was messaging my A's and B's. There's a bunch of people who start with A. There's a bunch of people who start with B. So I'm just going back, and so every Friday, that's how I'm following up on Fridays. I just follow up through my list as much as I can. I honestly do a page, maybe even every day, maybe every other day. It doesn't matter what day of the week it is. But when I'm just like on Friday and I'm trying to find all the people who I talked to, like in the last week or two, to follow up with again, since it's Friday, I'm searching just like a keyword. You can search challenge for 90-day challenge. You can search coffee if you want to follow up specifically about the coffee. But that's what I've been doing recently, and it really helps. So and then making sure that you're saving your host to post into a collection. I know most people do this, but this is huge for my organization. I used to just keep all of my host to posts in timeline review. There's probably like 500 host to posts in my timeline review, like rip, they're just going to be in there forever. But now I save them into collections so that it's very easy for me to go back and see, these are all the people who posted for this giveaway. Those are all the people who posted for the last giveaway. And it also makes it very easy for me to go back through the comments, make sure I haven't missed anybody. And then I put this under follow-ups. I boost my host to post on Facebook. So I'm going back to my post that, once a week, normally I do this, and I go back to all the posts that were made last week, And if it's a coffee post, I post my before and afters with a little, it's actually like this little graphic I made. So it has my before and after picture, and then it says like huge sale, text coffee to, I'm gonna see if I can find it. It says like huge sale, text coffee to my phone number. And then, oh yeah, so it looks like this. So I just made this on over, you guys, with like a coffee graphic. So these are my personal coffee results. It says huge sale, text coffee to blah, 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 blah. And I do that for the coffee one. And then I have one for distributor host to post too. And I guess I didn't really talk about that because we weren't really talking about host to post, but I do both. I do a lot of product and I do a lot of distributor. So this is my like work from phone. Like if it's an opportunity post, I'll boost it with this. This says like text income instead of coffee. So that I count that as a follow-up because it's like if there's people in the comments who haven't responded to my message or I want to boost their post back up to the top of the algorithm, I'm going to comment on it again. Are people asking how to save posts and collections? Because I can show you guys. So this is just literally a random post, 3 dots in the top right corner. And then it's the very first one, save post. Your collections will pop up. You can see I have one that says Jan 15th, Feb 1, Feb 15th. So if it was a post for this giveaway, it would go into the February 15th folder. Okay, and you can make new folders for every giveaway, or you could sort them even more. Coffee posts, distributor post, like get creative. I don't need to be that fancy, but you can get as creative as you want to with this. So, and then in terms of my follow-ups, I do the exact same thing as Soraya, you guys. I just say, hey, I just wanted to check back with you. Hey girl, I just wanted to check back with you. Happy Monday. Hey friend, happy Friday. How's it going? Like, it doesn't have to be this, like, are you ready to place your order? Like, every single time. At the end of the month, am I like, hi, if it doesn't make a difference for you, I would love to get your order in today. Like, yes, I'm hitting them with one of those. But in general, if there's somebody that I'm talking to about the products, they're seeing my stories, they're seeing my posts, they know I'm messaging them, like, they know I'm still doing it, but it comes off a lot more friendly. So that's pretty much I do the same thing. I have a notebook, I do collections, I follow up and I boost my posts, and then I search keywords in my inbox. That way I can find specific people if I'm trying to follow up with distributors or about a specific product or anything like that. So that's pretty much my section.
Okay, so I got a couple questions from the chat for Facebook.
Yeah.
The first one is, do you delete the post from the end of the month or hide them from your wall, the ones that you do massively at the end of the month?
It just sort of depends. If it's one that has a lot of comments, I don't, because if somebody is like going back through my profile and they find a post that has like 27 comments of people interested, they're going to be like, dang, like people are interested in this, and that's good for the products or the business, because nobody wants to sell something that nobody's interested in. But if I have a potential distributor go to my wall and they're like, she got 27 comments on this freaking gummy post, they're going to be like, dang, I need to get in on this. But if I this is just even during the month, you guys, if I make a post like about the freaking cleanse and it gets 0 likes and 0 comments, and yes, it does happen to me like weekly, I'll go back and I'll delete it like the next day, or even like a few hours later. If I feel like algorithm is I feel like it's sort of the same on Instagram. Like within the first hour that your post is up, if it doesn't like grab the likes and like grab the comments, it's sort of not going to. It's really determined by that first hour, which is why my very first tip for you guys was post something and then do not post anything for like 2 or 3 hours. Don't share anything, don't post anything else, because you want it to have that chance to catch that upswing. So if something's more than 3 or 4 hours old and it has absolutely no likes or comments, I'm pretty much deleting it. But if it gets a little bit of traction and some interaction, then I leave it up.
Okay, cool. Second one is, well, I don't know what just happened to all my stuff, but I literally pasted the same question.
Oh, that's okay. No, that's okay. Jessica asked if I do the same with interaction posts, and like, yeah, pretty much. Pretty much all my interaction posts get at least a few.
Do you have people tag you on your host to post?
I do not anymore. Sometimes they do anyways, and I will always save their post and then untag myself. Okay. It was going really well for a while, and then Facebook updated, and it was like if they tagged me, it they were getting absolutely nothing. I still get a post to post that get absolutely nothing, you guys. No likes, no comments, no nothing. But I'm getting up 10 to 15 hosts to post a day on average, not every single day, but on average. And at least one or two of those posts gets enough comments for it to be worth it every single day.
Okay, perfect. The next one that I saw through here, do you usually do life posts daily? You mentioned something about it being 2 to 3 times a week.
I will post sort of like I talked about. So like my relatable and personal posts that are every single day, sometimes the business gets leaked in there, right? Because I've been doing this for 5 years. And so this is my life. This is my personal, but it's really like, look, I get to be home with my kid. Look at this personal growth I've been able to do. I do like a hefty, like, here's my story, combating objections. I have 3 spots left, message opportunity. I do those like 3-ish, maybe 4-ish times a week. But I talk about my business in some capacity in my stories or in my posts every single day, like about the business side. Because I guess I didn't even mention this. I have my Facebook hooked up to my Instagram. So I didn't even talk about Facebook stories because I do them the exact same way as I do my Instagram stories, because everything I post on my Instagram stories goes to my Facebook stories. So it's not different for me.
Okay, so the next question is, lots of people share their posts. Does it hurt your algorithm to share other people's posts?
Yes. Yes. I haven't shared a post in like 3 years, you guys. If I like it enough, I'll save the original and repost it myself so other people can share it. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, once in a blue moon is not going to completely kill your algorithm, but I want you guys to think about all the people every single day that you see on your feed that they do nothing but share posts. Like Facebook will start to prioritize that over your personal posts. So if you need to share like a local community, right? Like, or something that really speaks to you, or if you want to share something and you want to take it yourself and repost it, you can credit the original person, but repost it yourself. But I just I just think that, just like what I said, like, just because it's Facebook doesn't mean we don't want to curate our content to fit who we are as people. And if you're continuously sharing other people's content, that's not branding yourself. That's you using other people's branding. So if you find a post that you love about motherhood or about marriage or about life, like, repost it and then say like original post from blank, but don't just hit that share button. I know it's so easy to just hit share, post, but don't do it.
Yes. Okay, next one. If you've been in the biz for a while and you notice that your interaction on your posts has died down a lot, how would you repair that on Facebook?
I would not post about the products probably or the business opportunity on your wall for like a few days. And I would really focus on doing the funny things, doing the interactive things, doing the personal things, and making sure that you are going through your Facebook feed and your Facebook story, doing those comments with at least 4 words, responding to people's Facebook stories so that you're popping back up for them. And making sure you're doing your happy birthdays, making sure you're going back to your old posts and you're responding to every single comment. Give it 2 or 3 days, because you're better off not posting about the products or the business for 2 or 3 days and repairing your algorithm than just trying to keep posting about the products and the business and nobody's seeing them. It's like you're not posting at all anyways. So you might as well focus on repairing that first.
Yes. Okay, the next one, side note, just mentioning this comment from Hannah that she said that that's actually how you signed her up. She commented on your interactive post and felt comfortable messaging you. So just wanted to highlight that. Another question is, when you're messaging, when you're doing the messaging aspect of it, you mentioned that you send another message. Do you remove the prior message or do you keep just sending another one?
I keep it. So,
Okay.
so my first one is the like, hey, I'm not trying to sell you anything, host to post. And then the second one is like, hey, friend, hope you're doing well. You've been super sweet and down to earth. I would love to tell you more about my products if you want.
Okay. And side note, on Instagram, it used to be like that too. We just, the unsend button came after the fact, and we would just send messages like stack to stack.
Yeah.
And then these are two host to post questions. I don't know if you want to answer them or refer them to your host to post training, but what do
Yeah.
you do when you get replies to a host to post and they don't accept your friend request?
So you guys need to watch my host to post training because I don't send friend requests unless they comment about the product. Okay, if they're doing giveaway posts for me, every single person who comments, I'm commenting back for them to DM me entry. So this is how I stop getting blocked from adding people, and this is how I stop getting blocked from messaging. If they don't accept my friend request and they were like commenting about the coffee, there's only so much I can do. I can message them and say, comment again and say, hey, I messaged you. But at the end of the day, if they're not going to open my message or accept my friend request, like what, like I can't sit around. I'm not going to sit around and be upset about it. I just have to keep going to other people.
And then the next two questions for host to post, are you strict about following up on them? And if you don't have them, if you don't have them tag you, how do you get your notifications?
I put them in a collection and I check them every single day. So if that's what you mean by strict on following up, I check my host to post every single day. Not all of them from like the whole giveaway every single day, but like I go through the last week, like every single day I'm going back to that collection and I'm going back through them. And then that's about the same, about the same way that I'm going through and I'm following up with people. So let's not do any more host to post questions because I feel like they really will get answered if people go watch my host to post training. So I just wanted to see if, I feel like we said a lot of the same things. And so I think kind of the moral of this like training is that like Facebook and Instagram really aren't all that different. I think there's definitely a little bit more of a like posting on your feed more often on Facebook while you're making sure that the posts on your feed on Instagram are very curated to your brand and very quality, right? But I don't think it's actually different. And pretty much everything that I post on my Instagram does go on my Facebook, right? And then on your Instagram, you just have like a little bit more of the branding and of finding that niche market more so than Facebook. But overall, you guys, everything you heard was be yourself, connect with people, right? Be consistent, show up every single day, and find those people who you're going to really connect with.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I wanted to add just two questions that there were on Instagram. The intentionally follow, I'm sorry, someone asked that they're stuck at a number on Instagram for followers and they can't increase it. You guys, take a day out of your week. Your host to post, it should organically be growing up anyways, kind of like the same on Facebook, but take a day out of the week to intentionally follow all day. And I will do it during the weekend. I will like sometimes, I messaged my team like a couple of weeks ago that I'm like, I'm going to be adding massive amount of people for the whole weekend. And I'm talking like 500 plus, just adding and adding and adding, interacting. And that boosts your views, adds more people, obviously, and you're not stuck at that number. The second question about more followers and following, you guys, honestly, it's really up to you. Like, yes, we've heard of having a lot more followers and having the following. You don't want to have like 5,000 following and only 100 followers, but kind of like just mess around with it a little bit. As long as you're interacting and having them follow you back, you can obviously unfollow too. It is better if you have more people following you back than just massively following and following. But like Hope said, be intentional. And we're not saying that you have to pick one or the other, or you have to switch gears right now and completely shift everything over. Like, honestly, figure out things that work well for you, stick to it, be consistent with it, see the results,
and I think
master it.
I hope you all walk away feeling like I do, which is I'm already doing the right things on Instagram. I just need to be doing more of them and I just need to be more intentional. And I think when we're more intentional with our businesses, we can be more intentional with our time. And I know as well as the next person that when you're working on social media, a lot of the times it's hard to be efficient and intentional. And so if we can just focus on you're doing basically the same thing on both platforms. And so what can you do that is for both platforms? You write a post and you can post it on Facebook and Instagram. You make a story that can go on your Facebook and your Instagram story. That's two birds with one stone. That's working smarter, not harder. And then you just have a couple of differences between the two, but there's no reason that you can't do both and rock both. So
Yes.
This was awesome. This was awesome. Thank
Thank
you
you
guys so
guys
much
for hopping
coming
on. I'll post a recording and I'll share it with you, Hope.
Sounds good. Bye,
All right, bye
guys.
everyone.